Pardon me as I forget things again. All right. So, yes, exactly. So if we have this, did we talk about this? Yes, we did. 4x squared times 2y times x to the fourth.
That'd be 8xy. No, 8x cubed squared.
Remember, you gotta take your x. X isn't added up.
So 8x to the 8th time. No, 6. That'd be 6.
You add the
Oh,
exponent
yeah,
and
she
multiply.
had 6 times.
8x to the sixth
Times
y is y. So first you do the coefficients,
Why?
and then you go alphabetically. All right.
Okay, whatever you say.
First you have to get everything lumped into one spot, right? So with 4 times 2, and that gets 8. And then you add the exponents of your x's together, and then add the exponents of your y's together, so on and so forth. All right. So for 1b, I think, because I did 1a for you apparently.
We did all these in class.
Yes. We'll just run over them, just to make sure you got it. 3ab cubed. C is 5e cubed. D is 12x cubed y squared. 2a is 6ab. B is 18b. C, 18b squared. D, 11b squared. Number 3. Your answer should be 8.5.
I have 8.505. Me
We're supposed to round to the nearest tenth.
No.
I do.
Hey, wait a second.
Take a half for not rounding.
You can, wait a tiny bit.
Yeah. And B is 0.8 and C is 4.0.
What? 4.0.
4.0.
That would just be 4.
Right.
I got 5.
Can I save myself a half point?
How?
Very careful.
Well, we must have rounded something in the wrong direction before that. But 4 is the correct answer. It is 4.5 minus 5.5.
Huh?
They have 5 plus 4.5 minus 5.5.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Mr. Ken, is it a half point for not following directions or half point per one?
Half point for each one that you got wrong.
Before we go to number 4, when they say to round the 0.45, do they want it up to 1?
Is it more or less than half?
It's less.
So you would round it
Yeah.
to
Nothing.
0.
So it's just 0.
Yes. That's the next whole number down, 0. All right. So 4a is, these are questions that you could have asked me yesterday. 140.406. And then b is 0 plus 99 plus 41 plus 0 equals 140. 5a is 160 acres, and b is 24 fluid ounces. 6a is 4a cubed minus a. b, n squared plus
Oh, wait a
3n.
second.
plus
Yeah.
a.
N squared.
N
Okay,
squared
just
plus
do
3n
B
plus
then.
3. Those could be,
on that.
if they're addition, they can be any order. All right? So if you have 3n plus n squared plus 2, that's also fine. Or whatever other order.
Okay, so
A
A, I
needs to
have,
be 4a cubed minus a.
there's squared in there somewhere.
Yeah, squares cancel each other out. You have a positive a, hang on.
Yeah, hang
You
on.
have a positive 2a squared and a negative 2a squared. They cancel each other out, there's no squares.
Yeah, but how do you get, because I have 4a cubed minus 4a squared minus a.
Right, so here's the deal. Let's work this one. So let's listen to it this way. If you have negative 3 plus 3, what's the result?
0.
Perfect. All right, so that's established. So now we have 2a cubed plus 2a cubed minus 2a squared plus 2a squared minus 2a plus a. All right, so what we do is we take these things and remember they have to have the same exponents, right? You mostly understand that. So we just basically, we take everything that has the same variable and exponent and we lump them together. So here we have two positive a cubes. So this would be 4a cubed. Here we have a negative 2a squared and a positive 2a squared. Those cancel each other out. You put those together, you get 0, right? It's fact. If you have a negative and a positive, you can put them the other way around as well. If you have a negative 2a squared and you have a positive 2a squared, they cancel each other out, you get nothing. All right, so those just completely go away. And here you have a negative 2a plus 1a, right? So this would give you a negative a as a result. So 3a cubed minus a is your final answer.
That's why I don't like math.
That makes sense. It's the same every time.
I don't think.
Little, still young.
She doesn't care that negative 3 plus 3 is 0. That's what's going on. You got B correct?
Yeah.
Good. 7a. 0.0383, that's a repeating 3 on the last one. And then 0.038.
I don't have to repeat. I mean, I do for B, but I don't have to.
Take a half point, please. B is 0.086, repeating 6. 0.087. 8, $28.50. 9 is 56.115.
For 8, I have 28.5.
Yeah, I have that.
And I missed the, dollar
Okay,
sign.
take a half a point this time for not for the dollar sign and just getting it the right format. 10 is 1. 11, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 12 is irrational. 13 is irrational. 14 is variable and exponent. 14. No, I said 14. 15. Terms. 16. 9 and 27. 17. 12.5%. B is 32. C is 125. D is 37.5%. 18A, $2.93. B, $44.82. 19, $30.31. 20A, 60 square centimeters. B, 280 square inches.
280.
280.
I even use the formula when I only got 100.
Okay, so your formula, you should have had 1/2 B1, area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. So that would be 1/2 12 plus 16 times 20, 1/2 of 28 times 20,
1/2 of what?
1/2 of 28 times 20,
28?
1/2 of 28. Or you can go 1/2 of 20. Doesn't really matter which order you do that. So 28 times 10 is going to be 280. And the
I had
formula.
that wrong, and I did 8. I got 18 instead of 28. That's what I
I'll do that. Yes, and for 20A, your formula should be area equal base times height. 21A is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. B is 2 times 3 times 5 times 7, with a GCF of 42. 22A, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. B, 8 and 5/8. C, 1.36, repeating 36. 23 is 294 cubic. Your formula should be volume equals capital BH. So 1/2 base times height.
I just had area. I didn't use the volume. I got it right, but I used area on it. I had A instead of B.
Okay. I
I
guess that's fine this time. B, your formula is volume equals capital BH again. You should have pi r squared surface area
Yeah,
over here.
I know. Thought my formula was right.
They shouldn't mix things up in math like that, that's frustrating.
No, we need to learn how to figure it out. Completely different formulas for completely different operations. Unfortunately, that would be, so you got your answer, I mean, okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to take a point for the formulas. All right? And I'll check your answer on that. If you got the answer right for that formula, then I'll give you that. But you still have it wrong because you got the wrong formula. You're solving the wrong thing. 24 is 39.
What's 23? What did it say the answer?
23 or 8?
B.
B. 21,226.4.
Yeah, but I didn't have a B equals BH. I got the rest of it formula would not be equal BH.
Just right in about 24.
Yeah.
24 is 39. 25 is 51. 26 is 5, 6. 27 is 6 centimeters, and the formula is perimeter equals 2L plus 2W.
For 26, I have 15 over 18. I could have brought it to
Okay,
this
so that's
number.
That's not reduced. So take a half of that.
This lesson is one of the worst stuff.
All right, one more page. 28. Your answer is 50.13 square yards. Your formula should be area equals pi r squared, where you divide it in half later down the system. And then area equals s squared. Those are your two formulas. 29 is 280 feet. 30A, 1,000. B is 0. When there's 4 zeros in one.
Right.
0.00001. 10,000 space. No, 100,000. 31 is x is less than negative 2. So you circle the negative 2, don't fill it in, and line to the left. 32a is 24x to the 4th. B is 28y cubed. C is 9, and D is 3.
I have no idea how you got 3 about that.
What do you have?
27.
You have 9 times 3. It's supposed to be 9 divided by 3.
No, I didn't put 9 times 3.
Okay, so your second line should be 81 divided by 16 minus 7 in parentheses divided by 3.
For 20, for the formula for 20, I have A equals LW, and I got the answer right.
Yeah, that's technically the same thing. So, 7, 3, 9.
Just say there's 140.
Say what?
Just say there's 100 points.
No, I want like 150 points.
Yeah.
5, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 6, 7, 8, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 8, 7. That's not bad.
It's bad with the amount I have wrong.
How many did you get wrong, man?
Huh?
How many did you get wrong?
My secret.
I felt like it wrong.
I actually
Where do you need to go?
10.
Alright, 1 wrong is 99. 2 is 97. 3 is 96. 4 is 94. 5 is 93. 6 is 91. 7 is 90. 8 is 89. 9 is 87. 10 is 86.
3.5 having 96.
3.5 would be 95.
5.5.
5.5 would be 92.
What did you say 9 was?
87. Alright. I feel like we need to stop and solidify some of this.
So that was solid as Joe.
Solid as
That's
water.
about as solid as water.
Yeah, solid. I've seen solid water.
Why don't we
Call
just
it ice.
skip math today and do review?
Man, Leah has all these bright ideas.
Yeah. It's a lot brighter than just
Oh,
what's
we
in
don't
there.
check this lesson.
Yes, we will.
I don't know if they're right either. But still not sure about.
Did you change them all?
Yeah, they got all got changed.
Well,
I'm actually
not
really
close,
sad
there's a
about
better chance of getting right than that one.
Except for 14, I think.
Yeah, we'll check it, we'll figure it out. All right. So, lesson 3. I want to talk about, let's see here, let's go to number,
Number 1.
no, you're skipping all the algebra in general. Ridiculous. I wanted to do some helpful things. Okay, on 26B, what does that mean?
Where are
On lesson 4.
you? 4? Or 3?
3, my bad.
It'd be 17 divided by -4.
Right.
Where is
You
this?
go that. So that'd be 4,
I have to find it.
4, and
Right
1,
there.
4, negative 1, 4.
Say again?
Are you, is it
You
like,
would go 17 divided by -4.
17 divided by -4, why?
That's how it
Because that's just how you did it.
and your answer would be a negative?
Yes, your answer is going to be a negative. It's
So
going to be a
I
fraction.
think it
Negative
would
4 and
be
1
negative 4 and 1 Thank
Right.
you.
The reason is because 4 goes into 17 how many times?
4.
4.
Thank Richard,
Yes,
I guess
16.
it's mine.
1/4 is how you would write that. But make sure that's a negative. Make sure you hold that as a negative, because if it's not a negative, it's wrong.
So that's the answer for that one?
This is the answer for that one.
Negative 4, 1, 4. I see.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kent.
No, I didn't say that.
Everybody in a big old group. Thank you, Mr. Kent.
I think she's got mine
For nothing.
like a big, long, whatever she did.
All right. Oh, okay. So 23. We'll talk about those briefly, and then we'll do the lesson.
23.
Number
Yes.
20.
Go ahead.
So that would be 25.
All right. Each of you are going to do one. Okay. Perfect. You actually need more practice than that, but
Okay, I'll do number C.
we'll just work this out. All right. And you're going to come up here at the board, and then you'll check each other's work.
Oh no.
All right.
It would be,
So come on up here.
no, ooh, okay. No, I'm not sure if I know.
Go.
I'm waiting. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go.
Good. Mark it. Perfect.
January, February, March.
All right. Leah, your problem
I'm finally the tallest.
is 5. That would be enough. 5b squared times 5c squared.
I hate these
Yours
problems.
is
Yeah.
3z plus 3z. Yours is 3z times 3z.
Easy, crazy.
Yours is 6
This one is
times. No,
Is mine more like, is that the
Let's go easy. X cubed times 2y.
I don't think mine is right, just so the record.
I think it's right.
Okay,
Yeah, it looks nice.
so what I want you to do here is
Give that you.
check your neighbors. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Remember to start with.
Remember, everybody's my neighbor. Richard, your
Richard,
neighbor.
start with the coefficients.
Ouch. What?
Start with the coefficients, the numbers.
Coefficients.
No. So you're
After
going to
we
write
do
this.
this,
You're going to write this as 1. There's going to be no multiplication symbols
I don't.
at all, and then it's going to be alphabetical order. Okay. No multiplication symbols and then alphabetical order.
Did you tell me this is like the new times? Is that what my problem
That's what
was?
the problem was. All right,
I think Chris
Chris.
is right.
Chris, you checked the codes. You
Good job,
checked Chris's.
He's right.
You checked Richard's. You checked Leah's.
He's
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, Richards is right.
Maybe I
Perfect.
did it wrong.
Yeah, you
Okay,
got it.
so you are absolutely 100%. Don't worry. You need that.
What was that? What was yours?
You did it. 6Z minus.
Okay, so y here do we is y is this
Don't
a
erase it.
different number than this?
Yeah, don't erase it.
Okay, hey, this is 3z plus 3z equals 6z. Y is this, that one, and this one is different. What's the difference?
Addition.
It's addition rather than multiplication.
Multiplication.
These
We should really figure that out first.
Problem is, you guys act like you won't figure it out. So, nail this thing.
There was a, so I guess,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure X is a letter. Pretty sure you need to go back to first grade and figure out what.
Another time. All right. Well, I'll throw some letters at you. All right. Probability with more than two outcomes. Two options.
What?
Page 11.
That's pretty easy.
Yes, it is actually. The problem is that we've apparently had some confusion with this. So when you have probability, depending on how the question is worded, you have to use all the options. Generally speaking, you have to use all the options. Richard,
So for number one,
generally speaking, you have to use all the options. So for number one here,
would you
we
just add them
have-
all together and then 12
No,
over
it
that
would be
number?
12 over 30.
no,
No, third,
you're wrong.
you add them all together.
You have to add them all together,
12 over.
all right? So we have a candy bowl with 12, 5, 14, and 11 candies. So there's four options we have to add
That'd be
together.
42.
It is 42. You're
That'd
correct.
be 12 over 42.
And you can reduce that, and you're expected to. And don't tell me what the answer is yet.
Well, I'm trying to think in my head.
12 over 42.
So that'd be,
Don't say it.
Say.
can I
Say
say
it.
Do you have the answer?
I have an answer.
I think I do.
I have an answer.
What's your answer, Leah?
2 over 7.
2 over 7 is correct. That's your probability.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to divide by 6. So that's the biggest thing, is that you have to add all of them together.
So
Of
that's
course,
just
number
your-
two, number two
Number
is
two, it's like 0 over.
a number, but you have to have the right
What?
number. For number two, the probability to pull out a penny from 1980 is pretty slim, but you have to have the right number on the bottom.
So what do? You add 6?
Well, he doesn't have a penny from 1980.
0
So
over
his probability is
Yeah,
0
0
over
over
21.
21.
That's correct, because there are
Good
21
job.
pennies in the jar. We're not going to do number 3 in class because you will be fine.
We will.
Do not do number 4.
I already did.
Can we skip it? Like,
I already
out
did.
and Scribble on
No,
it.
let's scribble on it.
I already did.
So your mechanism, is that going to help us or is this going to help you draw the numbers?
What's that? I just wanted to, I don't know what the next one is.
Well, like, look, seriously, I went and did, for lesson 2, I went and did the number 1. And so I
I wish
printed
you
it all
wouldn't do
out. And then I came in.
I honestly wish you wouldn't do that. Because sometimes what happens is you go ahead and rush ahead like that and then you get messed up.
Number 3 is.
This case is not as big of a deal, but I just generally wish you could wait until we
I
actually
think
have
it's
class.
one over 5.
For which
What's the
one?
probability
For number
ratio?
3?
Yeah,
Oh,
1 over
yeah.
5.
Hang on. Is it?
That's right.
I'm pretty sure
That's
There's
it.
5 different options, right?
There's 5
And
options.
there's,
Yes.
And so it's 1 over 5.
Is it? What do you know?
I have 2 over 15. I
Why?
plus them all together.
I know, but there's only 5.
There's only
there.
5.
There's only 5 options, right? So you have a spinner that's only got 5 options.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right. Oops, that's 6.
Okay. It is.
No, right, okay, so there's only 5 options, so you take just 5 on the bottom, the chance it'll land on a 2,
One and five.
unless the 2 is much bigger, like it is in my case, your chance is 1 over 5.
Yeah.
If they're different sizes, then you have to compensate differently. Yes, because there's only one, there's only one chance of an end of 5. Oh, not 2. Oh, anyway. All right. Go ahead and do your.
I have a question.
Yes.
Number 14 on question 14. Is it negative 1? Are you there?
Oh, I didn't mean for you to do the whole lesson.
No. Oh, lesson 13.
Lesson 13. I didn't mean to do the whole lesson. I just wanted to do the work.
What?
But
I know
then
we did it.
on 13?
Yeah, yesterday we did it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So we didn't do any on 14?
We didn't do any of the 4 skip.
So today are we supposed to do lesson 13?
We're going to do the new work on lesson 13. We're going to do review from 15 and then tomorrow we're going to do 14. There's a little bit of jumping
lesson
around.
13.
Lesson 13,
Number
number
14.
Yes, my bad. Sorry to go up. Okay.
Negative 1z plus 8y squared z minus 2x.
Is it number 14 or 13?
Yeah. Negative 1z plus 8y squared z minus 2x. That's what was wrong.
Yeah, they have
Okay, then on like number 31, is it x equals negative 1?
number 1?
31.
No. 31 is not x equals negative 1.
X equals something.
Yeah, x equals something, correct. Oh,
Now I have to figure it out again. Well, then is number
These
32.
lessons is there is so much work for each answer.
Is number 33 x equals 1/2 instead of 1/3? It's not. Why not?
Did you multiply 33 by 100? Or 10?
33?
So in
No,
your
I
work,
didn't.
that was you have to make sure that when you do those things, you multiply everything by whatever number it is you multiply everything.
Yeah, so can we just wait to check it till I get these two things?
Can't wait too long.
I don't know how to fix it. Until I have a week or so.
31?
Yeah.
What do you have again?
I have equals 1, which is 1.
Did you multiply 8 by 5?
I'm working on it right now again.
Or negative 5 or whatever?
Negative 40 and
So you should get x equals 6x minus 40.
so it's x equals 8, negative 8.
Negative 8?
I have x equals 6x
Hang on.
minus 40.
Don't rush it. When you got rid of your 6x, what did you do? You subtracted it from both sides. So that means you have a negative on the other side. So you have a negative 5 and a negative 40.
8. Now I just have to figure out the easy. Should take too long.
Yes, you just have to remember to multiply both sides. The whole thing needs to be multiplied. All right.
I'm not quite ready, but
Okay. Whatever that means.
yeah, you know what that means.
All right, number 7. Oh, when you're ready for it.
You can start.
Are you ready?
No,
Just about.
no,
Perfect. What do you have?
50.
Perfect. All right. 7 is 9e cubed plus 5e plus 1. 8 is negative m minus 2n plus 4p.
Still got that.
it's gonna be in another order.
Yeah, but I have 2 feet.
Oh, that's unfortunate. 9 is negative 9x squared plus 2x. 10 is 10m squared minus 6m plus 6n minus 2n squared plus 4. Number 11, the GCF is 27. 12 is 21m squared. 13 is x squared plus z.
X squared.
X squared.
Is that the only thing that was wrong with it? It didn't have the X squared. Then I left out the X squared.
14, negative 2x plus 8y squared z minus yz. 15, 16x cubed y plus xyz plus 8. 16, negative 3x squared y over y to the 4th z squared. So it's negative.
Mr. Denton,
Yes, sir.
I don't do it in alphabetical order.
Okay. Doesn't technically matter if you mix it in this, it's just the right way to do
Shall
it.
I just switch them?
Yeah. 17 is negative 22x y squared z. 18 is 60x cubed y squared z to the 4th. 19 is negative xy minus 14y plus 2.
Can we read that one again, please?
Negative xy minus 14y plus 2. 20. Negative 15x squared plus 12x squared y minus 12xy. 21 is negative 1 over 7xy squared z. 22 x over y cubed z squared. 23 negative 8xy z squared. 24 x equals 1/3. 25 x equals negative 1. 26 x equals 5. 27 x equals 13. 28 x equals 3. 29 x equals 4. 30 x equals 6. 29 x equals 8. 32 x equals 4. 33 x equals 50. 4 x equals 150. And 35 x equals 90. Problem is there's very few of these now because everybody did that. What do we have? 93. 90. All right. Factoring greatest common factor from a polynomial. So what's a polynomial? Let's give you an example. Polynomial.
3x squared. Have to be a word number. You can prove it the rest. Should have 4 numbers to be a polynomial.
No.
3 is a trinomial, 2 is a binomial.
Polynomial is kind of a general term referring to we have right? It's not just the fact that we have more than one thing going on. And 3 is going to be easy for us. All right? So what we're going to do essentially is so we have to find the greatest common factor of these polynomials, and this is important because it helps us to be able to work. We're on page number 2. It helps us to be able to work through some of these things some math problems you have to factor out find the greatest common factor. This will be a thing you'll have to work with at a later date. It's important to get this nailed down as well. All right, so first things first. Basically what we do is we have to factor each chunk. All right, so we factor 3x squared, we factor 4x, and we factor 2, which this isn't going to be hard at all, right? So we'll just go ahead and do this. So 3x squared, what are our factors for that? 3 and x squared, so that's our first chunk. And then our next factors are going to be 2 squared, x, and the next one is 2. Now there's going to be occasions where there are no common factors. Okay, I'll just set you up for that. But now, not today.
Like that one right there.
Say what? And then you write no DCF. I didn't do this one as hard. I made this one myself. Yes, I'm making things up as I go along. Why don't we do
1, 2, 6.
Let me start this one without you having to follow along. All right? Well, you can still follow along. That's hard. I'll do from example number 2. Basically, what we're going to do. Remember the distributed property of multiplication. What we're doing is we're figuring out how to put a number outside that, right? So we have our numbers in parentheses, and then we have our x plus 3x, and then we're going to have our number outside of that, correct? So this is what's going on in this situation. We're trying to take a polynomial and set it up like this. All right, so let's start with example number 2. So we have 6x cubed minus 21x plus 3x. All right, so factors of 3x are 3 and x, those are the factors. 3 and 7 and x squared. X cubed. All right. So now we have to find the common factors. So the common factors here are 3 and x, right? So we'll write those over here. 3 and x are common factors. Now basically we write the rest of these without the common factors, right? So once we divide this by 3 and x, we get 1. Because there's nothing. Drag these down. Once we divide this by 3 and x, we get 7x. And once we divide this by 3 and x, we get 2x squared. Right? Factors.
So what do you want?
So this is your answer. 3x times 2x squared minus 7x plus 1. That is a factor. Basically, the factor here is 3x. You just write that factor out in front and then you put the rest of it in parentheses. All right? So let's try one for today. This isn't actually hard. It isn't actually new. It's just a different way of approaching it, or a backwards way of approaching it, yes. But we know how to factor things. We know what GCFs are. And yes, if there is none, which sometimes there isn't, then you write no GCF. Let's start with a 7m to the 4th. Minus 4th. All right, so first things first. Factor 7m to the 4th. 7 and m to the 4th. We'll just put those in parentheses, and then we'll go.
6, 2, and 3, and 7.
Yes, it is 2 and 3 and 7. Yeah, exactly. All right. So what are our common factors here? 7 and m. So we divide both of them by 7m, and we get m to the 3rd, or m cubed, number. Just like candy, just can't stop.
Yeah, you're gonna die anyway, so just pile it on.
Just as pile on, yeah. At this point, we're already starting to go right though. 2x squared plus 6x plus 11. Alright. What do we have for, once we factor these? The first one is 2 and x squared. The next one is going to be 2 and 3 and x. The next one is going to be 2, 2 and 3. Alright. So our common factor is 2. Precisely. So we multiply everything by 2. And divide. I'm in for right hand. So we get
X squared plus 3x plus 6.
that's your answer.
What if there's a variable but none of the numbers? Like,
Yeah, you can have a variable as a. You can't have a variable as a factor, yes. Like, you're saying like number 5?
well, I didn't actually see them, but I felt like, what if we go through it and then you would be almost be able to write down GCF, but then here you have to use the variable.
What is a GCF number
Number 4? Probably doesn't have one.
for? Why not?
Because 17 is right.
You cannot factor 17. It's a prime number.
No.
So for number 4, there is no GCF.
That's the only way you can figure it out. Is if you get divided and have to.
No, I mean, if basically like that first one that we did had none.
Why? Because
Okay, because none were common, right? So like if like this, for example, 5x cubed plus 3y minus 2. There's no ECF on that one.
what
Right?
if you have
There's nothing common. There's nothing common. Right? There's no x's. There's no y's. Even if this had, even if this was xy, it wouldn't be because this has no variables at all.
Yeah, what
So-
if it's like a X? Yeah, that's right.
Not in the first section.
Are we supposed to do 36 and 37? No, that's not.
Yes, I would say 36 and 37. And then 4 to 31 and 13.
4 through 31.
4 to 31 plus 15. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I need help on number 24.
Well,
You really should go find some help somewhere.
Well, they have professional help for teachers, but I can't afford it. All right, what's our question?
Well, so the distance formula is d equals rt. And we're not trying to find the distance. We're trying to find the rate.
No,
No, did we do it? No.
we did.
And I'm not quite sure how to get around to doing that.
All right, that's easy. So our formula you said is what?
d equals rt.
D equals RT. All right, so let's fill it in. Distance is
So distance 4.5.
4.5 equals
R times 15.
15. All right, so we can go 15R.
So divided by 15. Divided by 15. That would be a small number. Is
Is
it
it like 3 or something?
Well, so here's the problem. Is 15
minutes?
15 minutes is what fraction of an hour?
40.
That's the problem.
So,
Oh, so
0.25.
So we'll go with this. D, we could go 0.25. Oh, wow, my bad. Distance is 4.5
Mr. Kent,
equals the rate, which I would prefer to rate it as a fraction, to be honest. Times the time, times the fraction.
can you just go 4.5 times 4?
Well, that's what you do now. That's how you get rid of this fraction and multiply by 4.
Mr. Kent.
Yes?
Well, I did that problem is I just went 4.5 divided by 15.
That comes
That
out
was
to
wrong.
0.3.
So what you do now, what you have, so basically,
So R equals,
so you could have
So
divided
18.
by, is it?
That's what I got.
So now we look at this, we get 1R, which we just write as R, equals 18. That's correct. So the rate is 18 miles per hour. The tricky thing, the only trick is, in this situation, the fact that it's a quarter of an hour.
yeah, that's what kind of threw me off. Now I'm
Yes.
not sure what to do.
No, they'll do stupid things like that. That's Richard deciding the camera.
You like ruin it every time.
Number 5. 4x equals y, z.
What is it?
X, y, squared, z plus 5. X, y, z squared.
What do you have for a factor?
3.
Close.
All of them have 3.
Yes.
No, all of them have 3.
Right. What's your whole factor? Come on, let's work this out.
I have it all factored out.
Do you? What's your whole factor?
Except for the y squared, z, and y. Yeah.
That's part of your factor.
I know that it was in.
Okay, then go on up here. Talk about it. You have 12 x cubed
Yeah, y, z.
y z.
Like 24x, y squared. Plus 15x, y, z squared.
All right. So you say you factor all these to.
Yeah.
What's
That's
this?
2, 2, 3. So the 24 have 3, 2.
Hang on. We're not done yet factoring. So we're doing the factors here.
X, 2, 1,
All right. Here we have
3, 2, 3.
3 squared.
No, 3, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 3 of them.
Give me an exponent,
2, 2, 2, 3.
please. So true to the third.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it that way. And 3. Then X. Y squared. Three times X, Y, Z squared.
Okay. Come on, 3 more, please. What's our factor? Okay, so 3 of them. And?
That's the 3 columns.
Oh, what?
3. Divide them all by 3.
So if we're talking about a little longer than that.
All these little things
Variables? The exponent, please. The exponent is not a variable. Variable is not an exponent. Those are variables. Okay, so we will divide. What is our factor? What do they all have in common?
X, Y, and Z.
X, Y, and Z. So we're going to divide them all by
3, X, Y, Z.
Okay, now, right here, below. and then divide them all by 3x, y, z. Let me write that in simplest form first. Not 6. 2 cubed is not 6. Addition, subtraction symbols. And that's not z squared either. This is z. Yeah, that's one. Hang on, no. What's your factor? Perfect. That's your answer.
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night.
Why not?
I didn't sleep.
Whose fault is that?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah? How much coffee do you drink?
I didn't drink any.
Yeah, well.
I felt that one every hour on the clock.
Too much wind? It was a better house in that way.
I didn't
But I
drink
didn't worry about it long enough to stop sleeping about it.
I didn't feel
I got
that.
solid sleep from midnight to 6.
Midnight to 6.
I was ready to
I
do
was,
those tests.
I woke up at midnight. And then I
You were
woke
here
up
till
about
midnight grading tests?
I have a
What time?
firm rule about taking
Probably about
my
12
break.
o'clock.
At our place, it gets really windy sometimes, and it was pouring, and like
You're
the
right down
bas-
in that alley.
It was
Yeah,
really
and
windy.
the
Our house is up on a hill.
the basketball we just clumped over, and you know that like upstanding shed thing we have like on the back porch. I honestly have no clue how this happened, but like it's sitting there, and then there's a table along the wall, and then there's 2 standing fridges, and then there's the door, and the thing never fell over. It just like the wind
Moved
scooched it.
sideways.
It scooched it sideways, and then it went right into the, like it went around the freezers and fridge and just jammed right up against the door. Like it didn't just hit, like, if, I mean, it seems like it would have kept going, but it spun, I guess, and made it into there. And our big grill, it
That's
went
impressive.
flying and landed in the flower bed.
Nuh-uh, it was
Yeah.
that windy.
Yeah.
It was breezy.
It was
really
windy
windy,
at our
but-
place, but it wasn't even close to that windy.
It didn't wake me up. Like, that's what I was that's
Yeah, like
I
our
have to go.
basketball hoop fell over and like broke.
In my room, I can't even hear the wind, so I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to sleep, I can't hear it.
I think my wife was troubled by the wind more than I was. I figured,
My
well,
mom
if we
had a
blow
dream.
away, we'll all blow away together.
Yeah, Mom had a dream that
Yeah.
our house was like blowing away, so we were all sitting in one corner. Like, let's keep it down, because that one corner kept trying to blow over.
That'll help, I promise.
Oh, in my room, I can't even hear the wind, like it's that insulator something.
Lisa, Leah,
What?
you did your English lesson, correct?
I did
Or language?
the review except for
Okay.
one
We have,
part.
we have a few minutes. Leah is leaving here at,
Yes!
a little bit. So we're going to do the language arts lesson. We're going to run through it real quick.
All of us are.
What are verbs? Somebody explain a verb to me. Oh shoot, we can't
A
do
verb
that.
that functions as another verb.
Yeah. I was gonna do a spelling test again this morning, but apparently it was so we're pushing off another day. Genius.
Mr. Kent, do I have to read it? Because I got a pretty good grade.
Nah. Why not?
What?
All right.
What if I read it and get a worse grade? You'll let me keep my first one?
Sure. You can't lose much. All right. It won't hurt you to do. I mean, who knows? Who knows how it'll turn out better for you. So yes, a verb is any verb form used as an adjective or used as another part of speech. So a verb form used as an adjective is,
Hmm?
what's a verb form used as an adjective?
Participle.
A participle, we've talked about these before. And we know what gerunds are. Gerunds are a,
Verb form uses a noun.
use a noun
And
and.
in ing.
Exactly, give me an example.
Running.
Running is good sport.
Yeah, you can say running is a good word. I didn't
I was
capitalize.
thinking at the same time, I was thinking running. I was thinking,
So what?
and I was just like, running.
Running is it's an easy one. Yeah, so run is obviously a verb. You use it as a noun, it's a gerund. This little over there. All right, so an infinitive is simply a different type of verbal. An infinitive is well, the base form is a verb, obviously again, and it is preceded by the word to. They are often confused for prepositions. The way to tell them apart, because they start with to, right? So, like for example, a preposition that starts with to would be,
Go
in a sentence.
to the water. Go to the
Or go to
water.
bed, or go to bed is a good one, right? But here, bed is a noun, right? To bed would be a prepositional phrase because bed is a noun. I can tell that, and I'm not an English major. And I'm glad.
Are you a major in anything?
Well, I guess
What do you major in?
what a major is when you go to college and you study something mainly. Your main college course is your major.
So you
I
could
guess I
major
went to
in,
college
like,
a little
history?
bit, but what?
You major in history?
You could major in history. I went to college a little bit, but I took one course,
So you majored in what?
CAD.
What's that?
Engineering.
How long?
Not,
Not very long.
about 6 months.
It's pretty long for me. Yeah.
All right, and it was just I did a job on the side, so it was just a nice thing. So, too bad, this is a prepositional phrase, but to eat, because eat is a verb, that is an infinitive. All right? So, if I decided to eat,
I want to eat.
then that would be an infinitive.
I'm hungry.
Eating is the best.
All right, so it
And drinking.
It functions as a noun, just like a gerund. So if you use it as a noun, you have to treat it like a gerund. So if I would say to eat is a favorite pastime of somebody's, Richard's right now, I would write like this. On the noun line, I would write to eat. You have to put the little pedestal in there and elevate him a little bit because he's more important than most other nouns.
No, it isn't. It's
But he likes to
It should be
pretend.
like.
You gotta put his.
It should be going down.
You got his little throne up here, and that's where that's what he's going to stand on. So you can use it any place you would use a noun. You can use them as a predicate nominative, as a direct object, as a subject, as an object of preposition. Actually works there. So you can use it any place you use a noun. An infinitive phrase is the infinitive with its complements and modifiers. So if you would have, if you would say to eat jelly, right? Jelly would be a direct object of the infinitive. So you just write it as a direct object behind it.
For like 3 through 700, are those all phrases?
Yes, they are.
That is good.
So you'll find the definitions for 1 and 2 up above. Number 3, what is our infinitive phrase? Chris,
I'm not sure.
will you find it?
3 infinitive phrases. To answer each clue in 1 minute.
Okay, yes. What is our infinitive?
To answer.
Exactly. So like each clue in 1 minute, those are, we can have prepositions underneath these things, like adverb clauses and so on and so forth. Richard, what's number 4?
To memorize.
That's the infinitive. What's the infinitive phrase?
The book of 1 John.
Right. So like 1 John or book of 1 John possibly would be a direct object in this case. 5, Leah.
2 meters home and absent times.
Yes. And the infinitive is
Leave.
to leave. To leave is 2 words. To leave. Same as number 4, Richard. The infinitive is? The infinitive number 4?
To memorize.
To memorize, yes. And number 6, Cody.
To feed the chickens.
And the infinitive is? What are the chickens?
First
A
object.
direct object. You don't have to write that down, but it's there. All right, so in number 8, what is our infinitive, Chris, again?
To walk.
You have to underline the whole phrase.
Careful. More phrase, to walk carefully.
To walk carefully, that's right. How is it being used?
Direct object.
No, not a direct object.
An object of preposition.
An object of preposition, yes. Except, they're using except here as a preposition.
They want to circle the infinitive. No.
Yeah, you underline. And the infinitive, yeah, don't worry about the infinitive itself. All right, number 9, Richard.
To live a holy life.
It's being used as?
A subject.
Exactly, that's the subject of the sentence. Leah, number 10.
To walk a mile every day.
Yes, how is it being used?
A direct object.
You're correct. It's behind the verb, it's being used as a direct object. And Cody, number 11.
To identify the capital of each country.
Precisely. And it's being used as?
That one would be a direct object. No. Correction, non-infinitive.
Why?
It's
What kind of verb is it?
yeah.
It is an instrument.
And the last one's the easiest.
The last one is also, yes, very easy.
It's not positive, right?
It is not positive.
Mr. Keith.
Yes.
I'm hungry.
So what?
He's food.
I thought I'd make you wait 1 more minute. In fear and trembling. Now that is the lesson for today, and we will spend more time in the review. But I wanted to get that for Leah.
That's kind of cool.
So,
yeah, our
it is-
not too bad.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're easy.
No, they're pretty good. Like,
Except for like
The
knickknacks.
They all have CKs.
I could see myself getting mixed up on knickknack.
yes. Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yep. I
It's
just
not
not see
good.
myself getting all of these wrong.
Oh, God.
Rack. Pull it. I wouldn't say that.
Bannock.
What's the neat knowledge fit?
I hope everything.
Huh?
I hope everything.
Yeah, you can just. It kind of looks good, maybe. I'm not sure though. You never know.
How's it going?
That camera stared at me the whole first period.
I'm sorry.
I didn't stare at me the whole period. I just.
Hey, you jerk. You're a jerk.
Yeah, just do it right there.
There we go.
Is it just looking at it?
Drop it.
Richard,
I get it pointed at Leah's
redirecting
desk.
the camera.
Right there.
Right there.
A little bit. Well, actually, that's pretty good. It needs to be tilted down.
Yeah.
What are you trying to look at?
Whatever, it'll see her.
No, that's pointing at me though, too.
Well,
It's sad.
she'll be there, so it won't see you.
Dude,
Alright,
point it at the back of your computer.
You could just.
that's actually really fun, is to put it like this.
No.
Foursquare.
No.
No. No. No.
I like Foursquare, Leah.
And Christopher doesn't, but
Well, I don't.
Okay.
go, you meet the two first.
Whatever kind of appointment they want. As long as it's not me.
What's your job tonight?
Is it really with me or? No, I don't know.
It's kind of breezy-ish.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball?
I
Yeah.
have to play.
Huh?
I have to play.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
I don't feel good at all.
Whale?
I can play, it's just,
Cold type stuff?
yep, I'm really hot too right now. And this thing isn't doing anything for me. I have a fever probably.
I got that.
Where's my hand sanitizer? Clean this joint.
I can play. And I don't.
Well, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
We're sick, I guess.
I don't know if I can actually play.
I got it in the valley and then.
Kind of hurts still, but I rubbed it with some salve, but I'm not sure if I did any good.
I'd like to get some fresh air.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna play dodgeball, I think.
Ooh. I'll take pictures. Where's the camera?
There you go. I don't know.
Find it. There was this one. When I need it, I can't find it. When I don't need it, I can find it. Or it was the other way around. When I don't need it, I can find it. When I do need it, I can't find it. I guess. I don't feel like playing, so. No, let's leave it. Leave this.
I don't know if I can do much good since you read it.
Well, they're just like having two people hit and they're just like throwing balls at people.
Uh-huh.
Something else. I can't really sit there to that one. But I'm not kidding you. I think I'm taking it because
What are you thinking?
I broke my back, or I pulled a tendon in my back, or I pulled a muscle, or I pulled a hamstring in there or something.
Where you broke
Probably
it, you know,
hamstring,
maybe?
I don't know.
That camera went dead. I got a whole bunch of good pictures, and then it went dead on me.
Yeah,
I
I
was
just
trying
want
to
to do
look at that.
batteries.
I got one good one of you, Richard.
Cool.
No, actually, I
We'll
didn't.
make sure to get it.
You were just walking up, and I just took a picture when you were walking up. I got one of Mr. Kent. It was so funny. He was like this with the ball, like he was at it, and he was going to throw it. It was funny. Like it, like that.
I thought we were playing Foursquare and also we're playing Algebra action.
They did. I don't like the way they did it.
It's like reverse scatter. Like scatter,
Yeah.
you can at least hide in corners and you can win, but this game is just. And if you get out, it's like hard.
You can win in that game.
Whatever.
Look at this. Oh yeah, is that the one you were
Not
talking
really,
about?
no.
That one?
Yeah, that one. That one. See?
Do you have a pen? Another pen? Yeah, it's in the bag. Are you guys done with your algebra already?
Yeah, Cody, look at the one that I took of Mr. Kent.
Which one?
Richard is standing there.
That's like a
He was going back to throw it, and I took a picture.
Oh, got a good one of you.
Good. I want to see it. I don't like I'm just really going to send it.
you were out.
Do you think
So
we can
if
abstain from playing that game now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we could have.
I think we should fast to that game.
Yeah, and
We can-
four
It's
squares.
something we ought to try to do without, just like 3 balls.
Oh, that's a good one.
3 balls.
Get
What?
that one.
Three balls to make a
Here's what interests me. Do we have no games we like?
No.
No.
Volleyball.
I like volleyball, I like spike ball, I like soccer. I
Soccer,
like
yeah.
square.
Okay, because I really get a bang on dodgeball.
You do?
I get a bang out of, I love regular dodgeball.
That was some thing.
I love dodgeball. I do not like whatever we were
I'd
playing.
actually
out
rather play scatter than hockey.
I hate
there. I would too.
I hate scat.
Look at this.
I'm just trying to figure out what's so terrible about it.
Boring, bro. It's like playing 21 There's no point. And
Okay, no, so here's the deal. Is any
There's
game
just a few of them.
is as fun as the effort you put into it?
I know.
Well, what happens if we put effort into the
Balls
game
look
and it
the
just
best
makes us
of them.
mad? Is the game fun then?
Well, I just keep from getting mad. I don't know. I only get mad every other Tuesday.
I didn't get mad, but I just think it's boring.
You are losing.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
No.
Anywho, Lisa, I'm waiting on your personal narrative to get everybody else's done. So that's what I'm waiting on. I'd like to see that at some point. Who's this?
Not me.
Me either.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not even sure if I can get it done today or not.
It was supposed to be done last week.
Uh-oh. We better prepare.
Prepare, I mean.
Prepare our arms.
Prepare to meet your maker.
We don't know.
Where's the
Shut the line.
When he comes in,
Shut the blind. We won't be able to see him until he walks in the door.
If they can't see us, you can't.
So, do that instead of typing? First one, right?
where would you hide it from because you knew it was gonna burst in here in 5 seconds?
There's
I would-
no. I wouldn't.
I'd be out
there.
there.
You don't
I'd be out the door.
I'd run out there, out there, probably out there because you
Yeah.
can hide in the benches and.
I
Or
would
just-
get out.
or you could
run towards the road
if
you went
You have a lot better chances outside.
Yeah, you would. I would
Because they
run
have
out
one-way
that
shots
door
and
because if
everything.
he came in that door and I couldn't get anywhere, I could just, because the door comes in this way, so you could just hide him on the door.
And we're like around people, so you could run from
Yeah.
They pull it down on you.
I'm not even done to help anybody either.
I'm not really good.
That's a good argument
Like
if you wanted
practice.
to have fun at school.
Like,
Somebody
Oh,
can
really?
call
look
somebody.
at it.
Okay, so it's typing for high school, it's Bible for.
All the teachers probably have
I would say get your personal narrative done. I mean, that's what I'm mostly concerned about, even more than typing at this point.
So I have about 150 words, is that ready?
Okay, I don't recognize him, but.
Ooh, I got it.
I really got his
I'm gonna learn some facial
If
recognition.
he came in part,
He looks like a.
Hey,
Oh, that's pretty obvious.
Alright, sit down. Yeah, get that thing done, I mean, get something, I want something handed in by the end of this next period.
Okay, so all I have to do
He
is
looks
rewrite
fine.
it and make sure it looks
he
neat.
looks like one of
I
those
want
cousins,
something
like
hand-
the
yeah.
ones that had that.
I want something handed in by the end of this next
He
period.
looks like one of
Is he
those.
here to pick her up?
Pretty much.
You know, so, that was just too good. Alright,
So just quickly write that down.
I want something on my desk.
So was it good enough?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you did. You read it.
Don't remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
You read
I
it
do
and you
remember.
said it wasn't enough.
I said it wasn't long enough, yeah.
Battery is low. Can
Well,
I type over
get
here?
something, I need something.
It was in here, where'd it go? Ooh, I didn't even look at this, but this doesn't look very good.
No, it wasn't. Alright.
Oh, not too bad anymore.
Not too bad in 81, that's a C.
And 80 wants a C.
Oh, these ones? I had no idea on.
No, B.
That's why
No
they were
wonder.
skipped.
It's a C.
I'm in blue.
Like how much did
Alright.
it count off for these or nothing?
I counted points up, but I can't remember. I did a bunch of grading this morning, no, last night, well, it was 11 o'clock.
85%?
That's what I gave you, I think. I know, I wrote it in there somewhere.
So why is it the long lesson chapter? You put both of them together.
I don't remember. I might have counted something off. I honestly, that was last night, and all your lessons ran together in my head, and I can't remember what I did at my head.
Where did
All right.
it go? I had it in. Did you
You
leave
mean
it
your
at
old
the-
one?
Yeah.
I didn't pull it out. All I have was what you gave me. I mean, that was all I had, all I took home last night. All right, 8th grade.
I have this part.
Lesson 7.
This was for one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was.
So for one of those ones that didn't have anything in it. No. It's gone. Well, there it is.
Dog probably ate it.
No, the dog didn't.
Okay, well, I need something handed in.
I will try to get it.
Thank you. Let us check lesson 7. Note that corruption is out of the way. Sir, yes, sir. We are loose, sir. Or something.
Are we limbs? We are limbs, sir.
All right. So number 1 is Bethany. Number 2 is Lazarus. Number 3 is Didymus. Number 4, Lazarus' death. And B, because of the danger he faced from the Jews there.
What? I have Lazarus was dying in Bethany.
What event did he not want to prevent?
Where are you at?
For 4A.
For 4A, I have Lazarus dying.
Yeah.
And then for B, I have Lazarus was dying in Bethany. Yep.
I have because.
So when Jesus talked about going to Bethany, they're like, well, hang on, what does it say? Well, on page 107, second column, third paragraph. His disciples could scarcely believe that he planned to return to Judea, for the Jews there had recently tried to stone him.
Well, I have for B because the Jews tried to stone him.
Yeah. So it was because of the danger he was going to face from Judea. Number 5A. It was not his time to die.
He had God's protection.
That works. B, we can obey the will of God regardless of any danger we might face because we are in God's care.
I have nobody but myself, so it's our time to die.
6E, 7A, 8D, 9C, 10B. 11, B and C. 12, D, 13. Twin or double is what it means.
I looked it up and it said Christian.
It did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did too. It said Christian.
Yeah,
Should we look it up?
that's what I have is that, Christian.
It's Christian.
Where's my Strong's go?
Over here.
Hey, and for number 11,
The one that does.
you said B and C.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I have A instead of B.
I think. Well, A to test if this man is patient, that wouldn't really make sense.
That's like the same thing though as
Yeah.
talking about cheese.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, the number, I think in the Greek, I think it was 131,324.
Yeah.
In the Greek?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So 12,
13, 24.
13, 24.
I'm pretty sure that's what. Can't remember.
I got Christian.
I mean, it had a bunch of words, and then right at the end it said like Christian. And so I just like figured that probably was Christian.
Yeah, that would make it more
Yeah, $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying Didymus was a Christian, I think. Yeah, it does say twin and double there. double or twin.
So it could have been just saying that he was a twin or a double, just as it was saying in Christian. Doesn't matter.
You guys count that wrong? Because that was kind of like strong. Like,
I don't know how to run anything, but I can't understand that.
Take a half for that.
Hey, and what about 11?
For 11, no, okay, okay, that's fine. 14. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. John 25. 15. Richard, what do you have?
I have honesty, a common bond, hobby, and quality time.
Yeah, really good. What do you have, Grace?
I like each other, do stuff together, and enjoy the same friendship.
Okay. What do you have?
I have true honesty, a kind heart, and understanding.
Those are all good. 16 is true. And 17 is false. You should replace no longer with still. 18.
I just crossed no longer out. I didn't put anything on it.
Yeah, that works. 18, false. And everyone. 19 is true. 20 is true. 21, false. Will not have another or won't have a second opportunity or something like that. Make that the other way.
I have never had a second opportunity.
That works. 22 is true. 23, A. The service we do for God do not perfectly fulfill our obligation to Him. I'm not sure where to get these, but.
I looked and looked, and so I
Oh,
I know
Page
what you got.
25, number
Yeah,
three.
they're back there. I looked
Page
back.
25.
Page 25.
And I got it wrong, so I went to switch it.
It is, B, they have, it is simply giving back to Him what He's done to us, what He's given to us, and C, we are only doing our duty as being created.
Okay, so I have these. I have C. I have, we will always be in debt to Him. We can never do our work, whatever we're doing perfectly enough for Him. We can, whatever.
Well, that's kind of two of them at once, isn't it?
Whatever. And then I said, then I have for C. I have we were created to glorify God.
I have like
Which is true.
Yeah, that one. So I have them in different order.
Yeah, in different orders, no problem. Okay, run those by me again, Richard. please.
I have, we will always be in debt to Him. We can never perfectly fulfill what we're supposed to do, and we were created to glorify God.
Right. Yeah, that's basically what's going on. The thing about giving back to Him, He's given to us, don't have really word for word, but I'll give you that one. And 24, water to cool His tongue, B, warn them.
I have to say, and a drink of water.
Yeah.
I just have
Warn is a better word than save. Just write warn in instead of, or cross out save, you put warn, because you could save, you could only warn them. And water for his tongue, yes. Or a drop of water or something. 25, scriptures. So B, 25A is the scriptures, 25B is repent and be wrong.
I have for A.
For B, I have obey and tell.
For A, I have ability.
Yeah, they have the ability to read and obey. write in scriptures, and I want you to write in repent, Cody.
And then for
And warn is, yeah, write in warn.
Mr. Kent.
Sure.
Do you have any sandpaper?
For B, I have
For what?
Just, do you have any sandpaper here?
Not here.
For B, I have accept and tell.
Accept and tell. Yeah, put in repent and point.
So
Write it in.
for A, what like I have choice. They have the choice to read it.
They have the scriptures. Write in scriptures.
What were you saying about a vertical bar or something last time we measured the sun? I thought you
Oh,
said
so like
that.
set it right there.
Set it in the window rather than use the edge, because the edge is. a little
Why
hairy.
can't you use the middle thing right there?
Because that'll change widths. as the sun views it from different angles, it'll change widths.
So it would have to be a circle.
Plus, yeah, a round shaft. 25, 26, 27, 28, 30.
It's raining.
What?
Well, there's drippies.
That's good, because Mr. Kent doesn't like getting wet and we can play spike
Yeah,
ball.
that's
They are worth 2 points apiece.
I only got a half.
Could you,
That would be
like,
1 point off, 99.
for that one word, can you just say it's right, that one half, a Christian? That's just,
So I
it says it in there. I mean,
97. 97.
97. 1.5.
2.5. I'm trying to. That'd be 4.
45 off of 95.
24.
I got a half, that's 99, right? That's sad. You're mean.
Didn't mean to ruin your day, but
Didn't mean to ruin your day, but
I ruined it on purpose.
Yahoo! Jesus wept.
Mr. Webb.
Yeah, I've wept before. Has Christopher wept before, or is he just a Iron
I've
Man?
never wept, I'm an Iron Man. I've never. Are you kidding me? I need help on number 7 once.
what?
Because I can't find it.
You will find it
I've read the whole thing and I can't find it.
in. Oh, John 11, 22, and 27.
7?
John 11, 22, and 27.
22 through 27?
And 27. Okay, well, there's 2.
Only John 11, 22, and 27.
Yep, verse 22, I'm assuming will be A, and 27 will be B. Those are the things that Mark says to Christ.
Mr. Kent.
Yes.
Does that verse, Jesus wept, show that it is appropriate for grown men to cry? I don't know.
Do you think it's appropriate for grown men to cry?
Sure, I don't know. Whatever.
It's not like appropriate for them to just cry.
Probably depends what they're crying about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe if they're so emotional.
An overly emotional man doesn't cry.
We all agree.
It has an overly emotional woman, I suppose.
did so much this last time, but sometimes
Which one? Oh,
just probably the ladies more, but
Mm-hmm. One of my grandparents. My grandpa. Especially toward the end of his life. And he was on a lot of medications too for pain and stuff. He got terribly emotional.
yeah.
Some things. And he was just so mad at himself every time he did it. All of a sudden he was just crying and he couldn't figure out why. Instead of angry about it.
Some teachers just sit up there and cry like they're
Yeah, like when you can predict. Like,
your uncle Dan Weaver does
Yeah,
it.
he does.
He cries.
That's a fact.
well, we also figured out Derek does it too. So.
Derek does it?
Yeah, which number?
My cousin.
The little one.
Oh, that was actually
Blind Bartimaeus.
I think honestly,
Yeah.
We were so mean to him.
Oh dear.
I was,
Derek?
Yeah.
The poor child.
It was not something he would normally do.
Yeah, well, that's why
Like
it
he
was so
turned
weird.
around and said, "Shut up" to my sister who was teaching. So.
I actually feel kind of sorry for the poor kid. He is definitely a little strange,
And I know that.
He had quite a few
but he has,
classmates that were kind of mean.
Well, he's had like bullies the whole.
his whole entire life, and it hasn't made him any less strange, and that's what's really sad and hard to deal with. But like it's actually really tough, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like in whatever, yeah, he's strange and odd and things, but boy, if you listen to one of his silly stories, it makes his day. Like randomest stories make literally no sense.
I know.
Well, he had a lot of them.
He's
I would-
I don't know where he comes up with them.
He comes with them off his phones and his games and
Everybody
everything.
should spend less than a day.
He
I mean, that-
literally,
Not mine.
when we work in the plots, it just makes his day if I listen to his stories.
I know.
Like, he'll just sit there and talk about all these
You can
different
just be
things
like-
that he watched, and he'll literally go, I remember him telling me, like, the whole time I was working there, which was like 5 hours, all about this YouTube channel that,
They
Yeah.
cared like nothing.
like, it was like a Minecraft gaming thing that I like.
And he was
Watching
making
somebody
a
else play games.
robot on one of his games or something. They were
Like,
talking
okay,
about
I just listened to him because there was nothing
No,
else.
I understand making robots, but making a robot on a game. So the point that is.
I have a young cousin that will just tell stories like crazy, and finally you just have to be like listening, but not listening.
Yeah, listening but not really paying attention.
You're just like
Reading the
thinking
next
about
day.
something totally different, and then he asks you a question about the story.
Whatever. I really do feel sorry for the poor kid because like he has no friends. Like his only friends are his silly.
He does have some.
Yeah, he does have some friends for the.
He does.
He does have some friends, but they're just as silly as him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, he actually grew. That's the thing.
He's taller than all of his classmates now.
He used to be really small.
Yeah, he was always a short one, and then, you know.
I don't know. I honestly just feel sorry for the kid. Like yeah, he's weird.
When we had fellowship.
So is actually a lot of my family.
I mean,
Pretty weird.
fellowship. We had friends.
The rest of your family.
Here we go.
I mean, there's days where I'm probably pretty weird too. So we'll just roll. We'll roll. We got some dreams. Preach it, brother.
Preach it.
Yeah. You know, old preacher sitting in the corner. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, up in Walnut, that's what they did. Amen. And the first
Yeah.
time they did it, I was just like,
Like, I do what? What did you say?
and I was like, I jerked back and looked at the person who did it because I was so surprised. And he just was quite startled too.
Startled you or startled
Do
you?
you want both
He
copies?
was startled.
Please.
Okay, I added a few more words in just because it made more sense to put them in there.
Okay.
But I got it like that.
He didn't have
That's an honor badge.
That's
And there's
leading the right direction.
it's 3 different pairs.
Thank you.
I did it, actually.
Well, I didn't think it was hard.
Remember 11, B is the last answer.
Oh,
Yeah, B is the last answer. we should spend most of our time reading.
Jesus wept.
I would
He's
say,
our
I would
role
say a
model.
large, yeah. A
Spend
large,
the majority of our time reading over.
Read without something.
Yeah.
Alright. Should I type a little bit or should I experiment?
Lisa, are you really?
Yeah, I'm really behind.
she's catching up from big amounts of days.
I still have to do
Or actually, it was almost 3 days.
literature,
So I would say start on
science,
English and go
my biology.
over there.
Why do we have to learn about germs again?
I thought we went over this.
Yeah, we already know about germs.
See, then it shouldn't be a struggle at all, right?
I don't like this book.
Oh well.
We have to do comments again. I thought we just did it like 2 books ago.
Yeah.
Mr. Kenton,
Yes.
so, in the summit, I am not sure, we're not doing anything in order right now. Should we be, or do you think we can turn it?
There should be a way for you to reorganize pages, for sure. I'm sure they should do that.
Well, at least you know the diagram. Oh, but I don't want to do 14, 15, or 16.
Complaints are real. I just started singing the song. Oh,
I'm not
Thankful
roughly.
that we're basically out of,
I think they're out of subjects like in English. I think they're just going to come back in on and on. They can't figure out anything harder for us to do. They're just going to make us.
no, I'm just very thankful we're out of progress.
I'm pretty sure they could think of something harder.
Oh yeah. They haven't run out of things to teach you.
They're doing verbal phrases again.
You know why?
Subjects.
So you get more right this out. Yeah.
Then we have more essays.
At least per hour.
We have more other words.
We don't have more
We have to
essays.
write.
You're
It
saying that
says
progressives
right
wasn't-
here, writing an essay
Not
answer. The body of an essay answer.
I think I only got one at home.
Oh, just jump into English immediately.
Immediately.
Just do, yeah. English.
Well, haven't tried finding it, but
It wasn't being used. I mean, nobody used it anyway.
I did.
So
Well, we used it when we could.
basically, what wound up happening is people would just go out when they wanted, which is, it was something that was supposed to keep that from happening more, make it so you wouldn't have to as much, and some people just went out when they wanted it, and it just kind of disappeared. So, that's what happened. That was my system. I gave myself 5 minutes. That's kind of a nice little Christmas.
only called that in something.
Gerunds. What are all the verbals? What are the verbals? Quick.
All
Well, I'll just put one down. A gerund is a verbal.
And then it is.
And a gerund is what?
Noun.
Part of
Verb form uses a noun.
A verb used as a noun, yes. And it ends in
ing.
infinitive, a preposition maybe. What about like a positive?
and a positive is not a verb. And a positive is renaming. It renames the noun. Like
Like a solid putting together on.
where? Oh yes, exactly. Micah's hobby. So like it doesn't say Micah's hobby, which is putting together a model toys or whatever, because that would be false. So just have Micah's hobby putting together model toys, and that's just a positive. We just well, In this case, during used is in a positive, so you would write it like this. You would write your noun here, oopsie, verb here on this side, which is
Gave.
No, I guess it'd be gave.
gave. All right. Hobby goes over here, but that's your noun. Basically, you put your gerund up above it. We're just putting together multiple choice, putting.
Positive, just like another, like something that a gerund can do.
Yes, it's just something like gerund. That's correct. So, we got infinitives and gerunds. Infinitives are
It's the two,
right. To sleep, for example, it always starts with to.
And does it have to be a verb?
Yes, this has to be a verb. If it's a noun, what is it? It's a preposition. All right. So gerunds, infinitives. What's another verbal? Participle. That is a no. A verb used as an adjective. I can't even write today. Yes, a verb used as an adjective. And give me an example. What participle end in?
Trickle water rush past.
Right. What is what do they tend to end in? Participles. ing or ud, yes. So what's the difference between a participle and a gerund then? One's used as a noun and the other one's used as an adjective. All right. So we know what gerunds are, which is good. Find it yourself, Chris. Not leaning on Richard. He's just being a jerk. Nice.
We're
I
just being a
appreciate
jerk.
that.
I told him the wrong number to look for.
You are.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Number one. What is our gerund? So you have to circle your gerund and underline your gerund phrase.
Forecasting.
Forecasting is our gerund. The gerund phrase is
The weather.
forecasting the weather. Yes. And how is that being used in the sentence? As a subject, specifically. Number two, Brucey. Yes, predicting whether it's phrase, and that's being used as yes. You don't have to write that down, but just saying it anyway. And number three, Christy.
By examining weather.
Okay, so not by. Well, how is it being used?
As an adjective.
No.
It's not? Because it's
Not quite.
examining.
This one's kind
weather.
of tricky. What is by? Object of preposition, right? So by is a preposition.
Yeah, I know that, but I thought maybe,
This is a-
I thought examining weather was the map would have been enough. Okay.
No, it's examining weather maps. It's being used as an object of preposition, and the what kind of a prepositional phrase is it? Right. It's being used as an adverb phrase.
So, not that. Not that, in other words.
It is an
What
object
do
of preposition.
I underline then? From
You-
match?
You just go from examining, yeah, it's just examining weather maps. That's all you underline. And in number 5, there's 2 of them, which I won't tell you. Number 6. So in a positive, like I said, well, okay, number 6. What's our gerund phrase in number 6? What is it?
Collecting rocks.
Collecting rocks. How is it being used? As in,
Positive, positive.
yes, it is being used as in a positive.
There wasn't no predicate adjective, so I just examined it.
Right. basically, it's modifying the hobby without any linking groups. Richard's still trying to dive in. He's an A for it. All right, and here's the other thing is an adjective that precedes and modifies the gerund is part of the gerund phrase, right? So, for example, number 9 has that. So the gerund phrase in number 9, Brucey, is what? The gerund phrase is rock collecting.
Why is it backwards? Well, that's the direct object.
Right, it's being used as a direct object, that's correct.
More of them are used as direct object.
Say what?
So how many more of them are used as direct object?
That's a good question. Christy, number 8. Form, please.
Exchanging our specimens. Alright.
Close.
With other collectors,
Right. What is with other collectors?
prepositional phrase.
Right. And it modifies.
That was better.
Yes. Or actually, no, probably I think modifies it general.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter in the situation. At any rate, it goes with the phrase.
Predicate noun.
Precisely. All right, and then the diagraphical information. Well, I want to do all of these in class. Well, why not? The first two shouldn't be hard, because of having kind of sketch
You
it.
kind of want to like build upon,
Where?
build upon, go under it,
Where?
on top.
Which number?
12.
Cool. Built upon it.
Two and
What is built? What's the word? What's build? Just looking at the word build from a distance, what would it be? Without the context of the sentence.
Verb.
It'd be a verb, right? It is a verbal. What kind of a verbal is it? Any idea?
No.
So our subject here is,
Well,
our verb is,
yeah.
what is our gerund?
Ready?
Yes, and that makes it the direct object, which is running for you. All right, so now we have to anything built upon it. All right, so
Upon it is-
what's to anything? No.
What goes under the
What is anything? Anything is a, anything is a noun.
No.
So to anything is a prepositional phrase.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have it right.
All right, so now built is
Underneath anything.
a participle. It is a verb used as an adjective. Remember when those things are, when you diagram those things, you diagram them like this. So, I guess you go with that. Normally they end in ed or ing, but because it's the past tense of build is built, well, you just have to do
And
it.
so it goes
So
under
that goes
anything.
on, yeah.
It goes under
And
anything.
then upon it
And then
is
upon it is a
prepositional phrase.
prepositional phrase.
Why does it go under?
Because build is a verb. Right.
That blank.
Being used as an
was made for
adjective.
built 'cause it's little.
It's a verb used as an adjective.
But I don't.
I'm gonna put it behind it. I just don't know
Where
why
is
it
it
goes
built?
under two anything.
I'm not sure. I would have put it under there.
I don't know where it was.
I'm not sure where. I think eventually I might have come back to it, but the whole thing about it being a verb, I would have struggled a little bit with that. I mean, obviously, verb form is mentioned as a participle. But. All right, so 13. What is our subject?
Would
Verb.
a shape.
Perfect. What is rock? Yours. Probably a direct object? It is a direct object. All right. So, what is with its blowing? Okay.
Does shake with its blowing.
So it goes under what?
Does shake.
Yeah, it goes under does shake. It's an adverb phrase. What is it? It is a gerund.
And it goes after it.
Huh?
With it blowing.
Okay, so it's is a
How do you even draw it?
adjective. Yes, it goes under. Make sure you get the rest of the words in there.
What is it? Like that? Or under? Up there. Still
It
under.
doesn't really matter as long as it's oh, I suppose it's supposed to be under blow. That kind of makes sense.
What's supposed to be on the bone?
It's
It is under blow. It's not the.
rather than under in.
I just have that bottom. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
That's not an answer, yeah.
Are you sure?
It doesn't really matter.
I don't think it really
Still under
matters. I don't
blow.
think I'd count it wrong if it was under blow at all. They have it under blow, which kind of makes sense.
Transitive verb is meaning a participle phrase.
Hmm?
You know?
A participial phrase. What's a participial phrase? How is that different than a prepositional phrase?
There's a difference.
There is. What's a participle?
Oh, is that like
It's adverb verb uses then.
A verb used as an adjective. Yeah, it's not that. You said it.
No.
I hope not, because that's what I thought you said.
I
All right.
didn't say adverb.
Wait, no, my ears are bad. So,
You need to shut too many up.
oh, I mean, I ran too much in my equipment in your direction. Very honest. You're gonna probably have a bearing on it, but I honestly aim more toward the hours sitting on the machine that I put on. Bad idea.
Do you wish you had it?
Hmm?
Nothing.
Do I wish that I had more earplugs?
No, I said you wish you hadn't done that now.
I wish that I had more earplugs. I actually wish that I would have quit a lot earlier than I did. Gone to college. For engineering. That's what I wish.
So you can have a direct object and a
But it wasn't
direct
any
object on number 15.
Say what?
On number 15, you can have a direct object and
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. You need a direct object.
She
for
built
that direct
the,
object.
she built house, she don't need a house.
So,
What is a participle phrase? Yeah.
the participial phrase. So basically, that would be
Trevor Dunn is
anything.
exciting.
Let me think. A verb used in that. You said trickling. So you could say like this.
Water trickling.
Or the egg trickling down the wall. Or no,
The water.
the egg was trickling down the wall.
It has to be
Nope.
a transitive
It has to
verb.
be.
The egg
Ooh.
trickling down the wall
So that's being used as.
was
That's
That's a gerund.
intransitive verb though.
was messy.
Yeah, that's in transit. We have to use it. We have to use
The egg
an action verb.
Egg was.
trickled the wall.
No, not being used as a verb.
The egg trickled, the egg
All right.
trickling down the wall.
Okay, so let's talk about let's go this way. The trickling stream, right? So now we have trickling.
Yeah, but we need a phrase.
Right, exactly. So we could say the because the instant that we say the egg trickling down the wall, we have a gerund.
So the stream, the trickling water mass caught the boy with its stream.
The stream rushing.
Okay.
Stream, a rushing.
Let's go like this. Use the participle to describe a direct object.
What?
So,
What is
say
that?
you
Even
hit, say, for example, I,
Hit the ball
One.
round the end zone.
How would we describe the ball?
Oh, towards the outfield.
let's talk about something else, more characteristics. A mouse, for example.
Extremely as it ran.
Say, I run into the same.
I saw blues.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna like.
Barging.
Ah,
I saw the moves barging. Take off. Does that work? Barging into the top?
yeah,
Okay, I
that-
saw the pitcher crash into the game.
That's good. Seventeen to 20. 17 is present, yes. Zero stratus clouds create.
Is it actually present?
It is, yes, it ends in I and is progressive.
Which one's that?
17 is present. 18 is present progressive. What is 19, Christie?
Have, called. Past, perfect.
Not past.
Present.
It is present perfect. Have or has is present. And 20, past progressive.
Well, how do you do an objective complement that is a noun?
Most objective complements
Chrissy is lady. Chrissy is lady, would that be?
No, that'd be direct object.
You appointed somebody
Drew
president.
did.
Or
He said,
not.
oh, Drew, see, a lady.
Right, yeah, so it has to be an action verb to be an objective complement.
I just found one.
Okay, good. All right, 8th grade.
I don't know, like,
Pour coffee.
remember
Dying on the counter. That's it. 8th grade, English language. We already did some stuff. Heather?
You did, I thought.
I wanted to talk about some diagrams and stuff. We ran out of room. We talked about that. We did the lesson. But I want to talk about some diagrams.
Wait for your Spanish spelling.
And 22 through 24, we'll make sure we have that nailed on. Then we're going to do the spelling work.
So only got 21 to do again.
Perfect. All right. So, let us talk about number 29. First of all, what is our verb?
Began.
Began is correct. What is our subject?
Persecution.
Perfect.
And then as soon as is that little move on that line to the verb.
What is this seen as?
It's a-
Subordinated.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a subordinated conjunction, so that means we have
Adverb phrase.
an adverb, not phrase, clause. All right, what is our adverb clause?
As soon as the Anabaptist Church was organized. Wait,
So subject of the clause is
church
verb.
was organized? Yeah, that one. I'm trying to look here, guys.
I know. I was hoping maybe you'd stick with me.
I'm sticking with you. And then the
Not very hard.
Anabaptist. And the Anabaptist goes over church.
The Anabaptist goes under church.
And then as soon as goes on a dotted line between began and was organized.
Right, because it's an adverb clause.
But I said that already.
You're obviously.
credit.
I know. The problem is you have to come up, you have to work for the rest of your quad before you can work
Not all of them.
the dotted line.
I really like it.
All right, a few pointers on 28. What is Lord?
Now direct.
Yeah, it goes
How does
above.
it get
A little like
on the line above?
Yeah.
And then we is a subject thing.
And hang on, what is preserving your
Adjourned.
word? Is adjourned?
And then a direct object in your is under.
It is not a direct object. Oh yeah, you're right. Word is a direct object. Yeah, I
Your
agree.
goes under.
So where does preserving your word go?
Under
Under thing.
As
Under adverb phrase.
an adverb phrase, so it is a
Participle phrase?
No, it's not. Sure.
yes.
I don't know what else it is.
How do you get it under thing?
Huh?
It is what preserving your word is
Prepositional phrase?
is a prepositional phrase, yes.
Or
So preserving your word
the
is
word.
preserving your word is what do you call that?
Participle
The German phrase.
Object
of preposition.
preposition. Wow. That's what I was.
Preserving your word is one big object of preposition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It goes like this. You get 4. Preserving word your. Because it's German.
Stupid German. You trip me up every single time.
Well, that's why we keep practicing.
What other part did you want us to help on or something? Maybe?
We- Say what?
What other problem did you need help on?
Did I need help on?
Shamrock.
Yeah.
What is that?
Shamrock?
A clover.
31.
Yeah.
A yellow flowered 3-leaf clover. I do want to write our spelling words on the word one now.
That's not going to be good because I didn't barely look
Well, we'll
at
just
it.
go through it and see what we can do.
Is that be easy on me?
Which one is in the trash? This one is in the trash.
Wait, right there. We can play hangman with our spelling words. Just keep going until somebody gets there.
Yeah.
Hey, do not erase this. Right in the middle of something.
You don't care.
Something important. You can tell.
You can erase. Oh,
All right.
man, you're already supposed to do this. You want a red marker? Red is the best.
Richard.
Blue is the best. Actually,
Right.
Tank.
For me.
Tank. What?
Rack.
Rat. I don't know how to write that.
Wait a second.
What?
I racked my brain. Potluck. Potluck, not luck.
Potluck. I bought a potluck.
Potluck is not hammock, as some would have you say.
Hammock.
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 Thank you, sir. Ransack.
Hammock.
Gimmick. Placket.
Richard the Gimmick.
Placket. It's exactly like it sounds.
Placket.
Placket. You know what a placket is.
That's mine. Or which one was mine?
Yours was gimmick.
It was?
Yes.
What's that?
Is that how that's how it sounds for me?
N-C-K. And then E-T.
Gimmick.
What's my next? CKEIT.
E-T. E-T. What's placket?
Okay, what's my next one?
Bannock. Over here. Socket. Prismatic.
Matic.
Matic.
These are, you can kind of sound them out, but I can't read them.
Mostly, you should sound them out, yes. Bannock. Wow, you got 2 N's, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's
Definitely the best.
Okay, and that's a C-H or a C-K?
This is C. Hey, see this loop right there? Listen, it's cursive.
I know.
Do you want to see my cursive?
2 T's and an O-C-K.
Where's the T?
M-A-T-T, O-C-K.
M-A-T-T.
Yes, O-C-K. No D.
What?
That's all.
Okay, well, you listen to me, right?
Okay.
Richard. This is how you're supposed to write.
Chopstick. Wicket. Limber.
It should be the blue one.
Oh, that's a sticky wicket.
That's how you're sure.
Limerick is correct.
Under is.
Wicket. Chopstick is not finished.
Exactly.
Take your time, Richard. Make it pretty. If mine gone faster, better than that.
Usually one is.
If you put it on your
I'm doing
That's what I really cute.
That's really cute. Alright, do
I
locket,
have that same piece.
flashback, shamrock.
I don't think we have.
Oh wait, okay, right.
on this last part, there's no
Fantasy
vertical.
grade.
Well, see, I don't know how to put,
Hmm.
You don't look good enough, like, is that right? Mine's way better than yours.
Yeah.
Hummock,
Mine's the best.
a hummock,
That's a
a
flashback.
hammock, a hummock,
Dude, there's a
and
flashback.
a padlock.
Wait, that was wrong.
Are you having flashbacks?
Hummock.
Yeah.
Yep.
I threw Christopher over the hummock.
Wait, I got it.
A little mound of grass usually, paddock, yes. Do padlock.
I just did that one.
Or, do padlock.
Why did I just write it down?
You do,
Put them backwards and do that.
yeah, you definitely spell hummock incorrectly.
Me?
It's two M's and an OCK. Not an ECK, it's OCK. I, you will, right?
No.
Well, we'll give it to you.
Okay, what's my next word?
Haddock.
Haddock?
Haddock. Knick-knack.
Ooh, do not look out very well.
What is a haddock?
It's that chopping stone. Is that right? Oh, yeah.
Knick-knack. Yes, there's two K's next to each other.
Look how
There's
pretty
that
that
portion.
is. Skip that.
Where's my haddock? Yes, a food fish. It's smaller than haddock. So stab you with a marker. Okay, that's OCK at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna put that down, but then I messed up.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did you mess up?
Richard got in the way.
Oh, okay, well, we're trying to stay out of the way. Finish haddock for me, please.
I did finish in this series.
Alright, and everybody else can go back to your desks. Once you're done with haddock, then you can also go back to your desk. Perfect.
I knew it. I'm a genius, guys. I'll beat you back to your desk.
Genius.
Take my time, I'll beat you
I
back.
told you you're a genius.
I just put up.
Something to help you later.
Yeah, there is some.
Donkey race.
Alright, gentlemen.
It's afraid.
You just said how about that.
You said you wrote me. Oh, someone was in where?
Afraid.
Yes.
And then just throughout her life, go on your form.
I would guess it was under, hang on. Let me double check on that.
Throughout my life, I have it on there.
I would say it would go under afraid.
That's where I have it. I don't want to erase it either.
And it goes under, oh my,
Oh no.
oh my. I haven't even made.
Under May.
Made throughout her life. Made when throughout her life.
Okay, yeah, that kind of works out. Logical. Not fun, but logical. Right? That's like logical. Not fun, but logical. Now, this is an interesting question. If life is always unfair, does that mean that it's fair?
Yeah.
To everyone?
No.
If you can count on the fact that life isn't
Unfair.
fair, then it's being fairly unfair to everyone.
Yeah,
Do I need
that's true,
to-
but it's not being
So then life is fair. So then yes, there isn't fair.
No,
you just
unfair.
stated that it's
Some-
unfair.
Yeah. You can't.
But we don't know.
It's like 100, if you get one wrong, you're never gonna get 100, even if the points make you 100. It wasn't perfect, so it's not 100.
Yeah.
It's kind of simple.
Do I need this?
This is never gonna be 100. It's
Do I
gonna be
need
like
this?
over 100 or 100.
One thing I hate is when I'm complaining about something that's not fair, and they just say life is not fair. That's one
Well,
of
they're
my.
right.
I know, but sometimes people just say that because they don't want to make life more fair than it could be. If they would
They're
just.
just trying to make your life miserable.
No, but they will like.
Algebra.
They could make life a lot more fair.
I'm just interested in the fact that because life is equally unfair to everyone.
No, it's not.
No,
Well, that's what makes
that's not
it-
Hey,
It's
if
unfair.
life was equally unfair to everyone, we wouldn't have a
It
term
would be
unfair.
fair then. It would
The
be
thing about
fair.
being unfair is some people get better treatment than others.
This is a.
Yeah, so.
That's how unfairness works. So because life is unfair to everyone fairly, that means that means it's fair, right?
No, because it's just not fair.
I think it is.
No,
No.
I don't
Life is
Not
There's some-
everybody's dads die
That's not fair.
and stuff.
think. Yeah, not everybody's fish dies.
Right. So then somebody does have, not going that way, and some other people do. So, but you can count on life being not fair, so that means it's fair.
Well, some people were like.
Life is predictable.
No,
There
it's
is
not.
a
That is.
There is-
false.
Mathematically
False.
speaking,
Mr. K, mathematically speaking, there's different degrees of unfairness.
Yeah, well,